The principles of shaping and chaining. Now, if you don't know what shaping and chaining is shaping and chaining are two principles of operant conditioning. Now, if you haven't watched my video about operant conditioning, I made a special video about operant conditioning. You might be able to see a black or a white pop-up on the upper part of your screen, which will lead you to that video. Now, let's get to the or you can just go to the description and scroll to the bottom of the description, and you might see a video there. That is that video of operant conditioning. Now, this topic there are two topics in this video, which is the principle of shaping and chaining and pre-mark principle. These are not different topics; these are kind of related together. So let's see the principle of shaping and chaining. There are two principles of operant conditioning called as shaping and chaining, as I just told you. Shaping is a now. Let's read the second point slowly and understand. Shaping now here it explains you shaping. We will get into chaining further, but let's see shaping. Shaping is a process of learning a new behavior in which successively closer approximation of the desired behavior is enforced. Now, what is important here? Let me show you properly. Shaping is a process of learning a new behavior. This is important. What is shaping? Shaping is a process of learning a new behavior in which successively closer approximation of the desired behavior is reinforced. That is, the organism will be rewarded for such small step towards targeted behavior. Now, in simple words, what it is saying is that here in shaping, whenever organism performs a small step towards that targeted behavior which the person is trying to teach that organism, the behavior which is the person trying to teach that organism, whenever it performs a small step towards the targeted behavior, it is rewarded for it. Any complex behavior or skill is the chain of many steps. Now, what is complex behavior? There are many examples of complex behavior, or it just tells you skill. Skill, any skill. If you want to gain any skill, it requires steps. You cannot gain skill just like that. You have to follow a chain of many steps in order to gain a skill. The process of chaining involves breaking a task into small steps and then teaching these steps in sequence or chain. Now, chaining it talks it talks about process of chaining here. Now, the process of chaining involves breaking a task into small steps. What it involves, breaking a task into small steps and then teaching these steps in sequence or chain. So what does it do? So chaining, the process of chaining, it breaks the task. For example, the behavior which you are targeting. So it breaks that task into small steps, and then teaching these steps in sequence. Now then it arranges it into a sequence to teach these steps in sequence or chain. In chaining, only the targeted behavior is awarded. Now here, only the targeted behavior is awarded. What is the difference? Now here, this is the difference. That is, once the trainee accomplishes the last step, he will be rewarded. So here, when the trainee accomplishes the last step, then he will be rewarded. What was here? When such small step towards targeted behavior, it was rewarded. Now let's see the Premack principle. Now by name, Premack is a person's name who gave this principle, given by David Premack. You can remember the name very easily if you know the name of the principle. Given by David Premack. According to this principle, a more preferred behavior can be used as reinforcement for a less preferred behavior. Now let's see the example, because that was kind of a introduction or definition for this. One of the example of the usage of Premack principle can be best explained in a circumstance where, in order to develop a habit of reading in the child, the mother promises her child to allow him or her to play outside provided the child reads for a time period of 20 minutes. Now you might have experienced this. This example is kind of relatable. Many of you have experienced it many times. When you were a kid, your parents used to say to you that if you study or you do the homework, they will let you play games and all that things. So the same example applies here. When, in order to develop a habit of reading in the child, the mother promises her child to allow him or her to play outside, provided now this provides the child motivation to read for the time period of 20 minutes. Now I'll give you some time to take the screenshot. Now here is a kind of I mean, you don't have to focus on this image. I just added it. This is kind of image, you can say. You can get that image as an example of this principle of shaping and chaining, as how the animals in the circus are trained to perform. So by shaping and chaining, they are taught to perform tricks and all that, you see in circus. Now, I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. I would really recommend you to watch the video of operant conditioning. I'll give you that in the description. You might have, you can just go into the description and see it. I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. If you love the video, like the video as well, and subscribe to the channel and on the bell icon to stay notified. And I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, if you want to leave a like, you can leave a like.